Lesson number 4. As you remember, last lesson we talked about these blended cell references, $B6 and $2, and how those allowed us to pull things from just the top or the side of a grid while still being able to write one formula for the whole grid inside. What we're going to do today is going to build off of this lesson, but we're going to kind of go in a completely different direction. We're going to talk today about cell formatting, and specifically conditional formatting. One big caution here is that this works very differently in Sheets than it does in Excel. So if you've been following along with the Excel lessons that I also have available, you're going to find they do this in a really different way. In fact, I only recently learned how to do it in the Sheets utility, so I'm going to have to, I may even make some mistakes. But so let's talk about cell formatting for a minute. We've already done a little bit of formatting. For instance, when we came up here and made this cell %, that's a format as %. When we change the number of displayed decimal places by either increasing them or decreasing them using these, that's changing this cell format. You can, when you change the font, you can change your cell format. When you make it bold, or you make it italics, or you make it strike through, which I use actually a surprising amount, that's changing the cell format. We've changed cell format by changing the color of the text. That's part of cell format. So there's all kinds of things about a cell format you can change. One of them that's interesting is you can change what's called the fill. It's really the background here. So you see if I click the yellow here, it made the selected cell have a yellow background. You can go back and click reset if you want that to go away. That's a thing you can change. You can actually add borders in there. I'll show that later. You can change how it aligns stuff. So you can put the numbers in the center of the cell, or to the left of the cell, or to the right of the cell. You can change some vertical spacing things. There's something called text wrapping we'll cover much later. You can make the text rotate in the cells. So lots and lots of different format stuff you can change on here. There's even a whole format menu for your cells. So cell format can be useful and valuable, and I'll show you some stuff on that. But what I want to talk about today is conditional formatting. So what conditional formatting does is it lets you have the format of a cell alter depending on the values within that cell or the values from a formula associated with that cell. In this case, we're going to do it with the values in that cell. So what I would like here is for this to make every grade in this grid that's an A have a green fill, green background. Now, the first thing you need to understand about conditional formatting is the best way to apply conditional formatting is first select the entire range that you're going to want it to be applied to. So I'm clicking and dragging, trying to get all those cells I have with numbers in them selected. So select the entire range first. If you only select part of the range, then things act weird and it's hard to edit and all of that. So just select the entire range that you're going to do conditional formatting on. I'm going to actually use the menu, although there are some shortcuts to get to it. I'm going to go Format, Conditional Formatting. And it brings up this dialog box. Now, there are color scales. We'll talk about those later, but we're going to do single color conditional formatting. You'll notice it says apply to range. It actually can allow you here to click that and go back and select all the cells you want it to apply to, but it defaults to whatever you had pre-selected. So this is editable, but it's easiest to have it right from the beginning. Now, it defaults to a format rule, and it basically says format cells if they are not empty. So any cell in this range that is not empty is going to be formatted in this default green background. That's not what we want. What we want is we want those cells, so I'll click this arrow here. I want the rule to be not that if the cell is empty or not, or any text. What I want it to do is if the cell is greater than a certain value. So any cell in this range that's greater than a value I'm going to apply will be given a format that I'll choose in a minute. So I'm going to choose greater than, And then you have to put in a number here. Now, in this case, we know that an 89.5% is the value we're looking for. So let's see if we can do 89.5%. I'm going to put on my keyboard, type that in. And what it does, it gives you a preview, which is great right there. This is 89.5%. Now, I don't really love this particular green. So if you look down here, this is the format that will be applied when these conditions are met. That's what's called conditional formatting. You set which cells it applies to, what the conditions are, and what format. The only change I'm really going to make here is I'm going to change the background to this green because I don't know. It's more lively, I guess. I click Done, and I close this dialog box. And you can see here we've got everything that's 89.5 or higher has been highlighted. This will work even if I change this to a 40 question test and 10 questions on free response. Obviously, there are a smaller range of numbers here that appear that are A's, but still everything 89.5 and above gets highlighted. Conditional formatting, it worked. Now, I want to select the same range a second time because I want more formatting options in that. I think what I want to do next is highlight all of those, and I'm going to choose Format, Conditional Formatting, and I'm going to, you see it says it shows which rules apply to that range. When I launch the conditional formatting, it shows the existing rules and gives you the ability to add a new rule, a new condition with its own unique format. This next rule we're going to do will apply to these, and it's going to say if they are between, okay? And we'll go 89.5% and 79.5%. These will be your B's. B grades, let's make those. I don't actually think yellow is an issue because it's not really like a bad grade. Let's make it, oh well, I guess we'll go ahead and make it yellow for now. So let's make those yellow. So the B's will show up in yellow. And I can click add another rule while I'm here. And it has the same range and it's going those, but this is another rule. So this one's going to be between again. And this will be between 79.5 and 69.5. Now these are your C's. I definitely think we need to say, hey, wake up. Here's a warning. That's not so good. And then last one, we add one more rule. These will be the D's and below, and they'll be between 69.5 and 59.5. And we'll make these red. And wait, I got to choose red? I didn't choose red. Let me try it again. Make this red, the red fill. I changed the letters. Yeah, I accidentally. Look here. So what I did, I accidentally clicked the text color change rather than the fill color change. So I'm going to change that back. Let's go to none. So the text will remain black, but the letters will turn red. It's good that you do that. If you set these two to be the same, it looks like an empty red box because the text will be exactly the same color as the background. So you don't want to do that ever. Oh, well, actually there are times when you want to do that, but I'll talk about that in a different lesson. Anyway, so there are my 4 conditional formatting rules, green, yellow, orange, and red, that apply to this spreadsheet. Now, right now, I don't have anything in the F range. Interestingly enough, let's go ahead and do something to be in the F range. So if I only had 10 multiple choice questions and 5 free response questions, then that gives you a lot of ways to, with these short limits on the 2 ranges there, gives you a lot of places. The F's here are actually appearing as white background. I can always go back and edit my conditional formatting. Now, let's see what happens if I only have one cell selected and I go to conditional formatting. It does show me the all the conditional formatting that include that cell. So I actually don't have to select the whole area if I wanted to change this around. Maybe what I want to do is, let's take this one and edit it, and instead of green, let's make these be like this really pretty purple background. Like, yay, it's good. It's a celebratory color. Okay, I click Done. I'll take this one and make these be green because B's are good. click Done. Then take these orange ones here. Let's make those the C's be yellow background. Done. The D's can be orange because you're not yet failing. And then I can add one more rule. And what's interesting, what I could do is actually, rather than adding a rule, I can make all of those cells be red by default, and those will be overridden by these conditional formatting. So two approaches I could do. One is I could just go is less than and make this 59.5. Oops, 50. I hit delete too many times. 59.5 and make it red and say done. So this works. This is one way of getting that behavior that I want, where the F's are red, the D's are orange, the C's are yellow, the B's are green, and the A's are actually this cool purple color. But you know what? I'm over 10 minutes on this video. I like not to make these videos more than 10 minutes long. So I'll stop there for now. Conditional formatting, select the range, choose conditional formatting, put in your desired characteristics, and save it, and it applies. Pretty easy.